Hi everybody, it's Danny here from Handmade Papercraft. Today I am sharing with you an 18th card that I made for a young man using some stamps from HoneyBee. So I'm using the car show stamps and I'm also using the You're a Classic. So I'm stamping these images out onto some Express It blending card just using some Memento Tuxedo Black and just a acrylic block. So I have already trimmed the paper down. I wanted to make sure that I got everything exactly where I wanted it to go. And I'm using some J. Burrows alcohol markers from Officeworks to colour these images in. I don't use these markers very often. No reason why. They are awesome. The only thing that I don't like is that the nibs are a little bit bigger than what Copic markers are. So if you're doing any of those intricate bits and pieces, they're a little bit harder to use. So I'm going to colour all of the images up. Yeah, and then we'll put the card together. So other items that I'm using on my card today, I will be using the Happy Trio die set from My Favorite Things. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any links to that one, so I will link up some other Happy dies. And I'm also using the tall type numbers dies from Concord and Ninth, and I'm just running all of those bits and pieces through using some American Crafts cardstock. So in hindsight, I probably should have sped this colouring up a little bit more for you. I do apologise, but I'll leave it here for you guys to watch. So, like I said, these markers are very good. They blend nicely. It's just that tip drives me crazy. So I'm using, did I write them down? No, I didn't, sorry. Can't give you a list of the markers that I'm using. I didn't actually write them down. So once I've got the images all coloured, I did go back in and just add some more colour to them. And I'm pulling in now some of the black and grey so I can colour all of those tyres and wheels in. I am leaving some of them white just so that they do all stand out and it's not just a complete page of cars. So I'm really happy with this card. It was a nice simple couple of layers, nothing too extravagant, but it was perfect in the end. So we are just about finishing up those last couple of wheels. And I did need to colour that one up the top as well. There was just a small section that had to be coloured. Alright, so that's my bottom layer all coloured up. I did go back in again and just colour in the insides of those cars as well. There is a chair in there and some roof that needed to be coloured as well. Alright, so this is the Happy Trio dies from My Favorite Things. Like I said, they're no longer available, so I will link up some others. And I'm using the Birthday Sentiment from the You're a Classic. Using my Misty stamping tool, I'm just going to stamp it out onto some American Crafts black cardstock, just using some ink on 3 embossing ink. And I'm going in with some Ranger Superfine white embossing powder, tapping that out, making sure there's no little bits and pieces flying around. I did prep that with a powder tool beforehand as well. I'm now just using my heat tool to melt it all down, and then I'll just give it a quick trim so it's a little bit smaller than what it had it. And we will banner it up as well, just using my EK Success Cutterbee scissors. And I'm just going to layer all of those bits and pieces up. And I'm just running through the Concord and Ninth tool type numbers. I'm going to run them through with some blue and some black as well, just so I can layer those up. So that's the blue, and I did run them through a second time with some black so that I can have that second offset layer. Just using some Helmer liquid adhesive to adhere all of those down. With this adhesive, less is definitely more. You will get a lot of adhesive if you give it a good squeeze. So I suggest that you just do a very gentle so that you don't get too much adhesive. It is an awesome liquid adhesive. So I've got all of those layered up, just putting everything away before I lose anything, and then we'll start putting the rest of the card together. So layering those sentiments up off the card so I can make sure that they're perfect. And then we'll start adhering the rest of it down. So just playing with it, getting everything exactly where I want it to go. I decided not to put the T and the H on there. I left it as it is. It was just too much on the front of the card. Alright, so I'm adhering that onto some blue cardstock. I used the center of that cardstock to cut out all of my words and my numbers, so I wasn't wasting too much, and you wouldn't feel those missing anyway. adhering that to a Kucha Creations card base. And I'm just going to quickly add on some Nouveau crystal drops. This is the Midnight Blue, and just using my hand to gently tap those out so I can get that nice dome effect. And I'm just decorating the inside of the card, so I've just added a square of white cardstock and I've just stamped one of those cards to the left. Adhering everything down, and that will be my card complete. So I thank you all for watching and I hope to see you all soon. Bye!